Hey guys, Sableye here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're featuring Groudon Zacian team that I think is an interesting concept. Now I know we already have that Groudon Zacian Charizard Trick Grimmsnarl team running around, but I figured I wanted to take a little bit of a different approach because I think that's how teams adapt, right? Like if everybody just keeps using the same teams, there's never going to be any shift in the metagame, right? So I always like, especially with this series, I really want to showcase teams and different concepts than what's out there right now, just to give some ideas, just to throw things together, right? More so than anything. But as always, guys, if you do want to skip the team building process and get straight to the battles, there will be a timestamp. But without further ado, straight to the Groudon Zacian, guys. So, concept here is Groudon and Zacian together are phenomenal, right? They cover weaknesses for the most part. The one weakness it doesn't cover is Groudon doesn't hit the ground types, unlike the Kyogre does besides Zacian, right? That's the main difference in these cores. But I still think it's a really solid core because Zacian struggles to deal with other Zacians, right? Like it's a very position-based game at that regard, and a Groudon really helps that positioning, right? Just being able to eat a Behemoth Blade fairly well. And if you look on the team here, I've got Screens and an Intimidate. Behemoth Blade isn't scaring me, right? Behemoth Blade doesn't scare me. It's not this Groudon anyways. Probably doesn't even scare my Zacian at that much, right? So I think the mirror, even the Kyogre matchup, you got Kyogre I'm scared of Kyogre. I mean, I've got Venusaur and Thundurus, both very offensive on this team, and like it just helps the mirror so much. Like if we're looking at what's popular, Zacian Kyogre, I think, let's say Zacian Kyogre, between Venusaur, Groudon, Zacian, and Thundurus, those four, and maybe Grimmsnarl, depending on the build of their team, can really just put in an immense amount of work and take care of that, no problem. Obviously, plays still need to be made, but I think the matchup is there with this team. Let's look at the mirror match. The mirror match is probably a little rough because the Groudon Zacian to trick Grimmsnarl with the AV Groudon and Intimidate Screens, that's going to be a little bit tough to break through. But Venusaur might be able to do a good chunk of damage to a spot where Zacian's going to be in a position. Because remember, just as much as I can't hit them, they can't hit me. Right? So that's a very position-based game right there. What else is popular? You got a little bit of Palkia peeking back up. But between Grimmsnarl and Thundurus, Palkia is not breaking that. Trick Room's not super common right now. I don't know why. I feel like it should be starting to peak up, but haven't seen it quite yet. But I'm not... Calorie Ice could be a problematic. But once again, that's where Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, Zacian behind screens should be able to get through Trick Room. Right? There shouldn't be any issues with that being had there. Right? I mean, it's going to be tough, obviously, because the Trick Room teams know how to get Trick Room up and keep Trick Room up. Right? I'm not trying to just, like, say it's an easy... It's not a cakewalk, don't get me wrong. But, I don't know. It's all about positioning, right? And a lot of the game is positioning. And I think with this team, you have the capability to position around probably 90% of the meta teams. I mean, I might be wrong in that statement, but I think right off the bat, that's what it said. That's my thought process here. I'm going to quickly run through some things. Nothing too crazy. This Groudon, same Groudon I ripped from the Yveltal Groudon team. Nothing too crazy. The special defense was something to do with Kyogre. You could argue that you need to go into defense. I figured no. Because generally what you'd want the defense for is to be able to live a Zacian Behemoth Blade, eat the Citrus Berry, and live another one. But given the fact that I already have Reflect and potential Intimidate to counteract that, I didn't think I needed it. Speed, of course, is to outpace Thundurus if I get the +1, so I can Airstream with my Thundy and then click Rock Slide or something like that if it ever came up. Not super duper important, but something I went along the lines of. Obviously, still room for some wiggle room here. Fire move could be something that you consider, but I don't think I need it right now. Zacian, standard 3-attack Zacian, guys. I think 3-attack Zacian is one of the best Zacians in the game right now. Substitute is good, but I think it's very situation-based. Whereas Play Rough, Sacred Sword, and Behemoth Blade, all three of those come in handy a little bit more. And it's just nice to have all three, you know, until you miss Play Rough 6 times. But, hey, until that day, it's nice to have it. Anyways, Venusaur here. I opted Life Orb. This should be Chlorophyll. Good thing I caught that. But, you know, Life Orb just screamed really nice to me. The way I'm using this Venusaur is primarily into Zacian and Kyogre stuffs. And to have the ability to go for Weather Ball, I wanted to make sure I was picking up even the bulkiest of Zacians. And that's what Life Orb Weather Ball does, or Life Orb Max Flare in this case, because I'm going to be switching into Sun for that. Will pick that up. Venusaur is just very nice because it automatically, if I lead Venusaur Zacian, automatically puts my opponent in what are they going to do mode. Because I could simply Sleep Powder. I could maybe not switch into Sun and just do something. I could click Helping Hand, boost my Zacian immensely. I could switch in Sun, max Flare Zacian. I could switch in Sun, get big Vine Lash damage up. I could switch in Sun and Sleep Powder. There's so many options just by leading Venusaur Zacian, which is absolutely ridiculous. And it's just, Venusaur Zacian Groudon was mainly the main core I wanted on this team. And then I said maybe that's not enough for Kyogre, because if I do that for Kyogre, it's reliant on the Venu and the Groudon to be in the Sun, and I don't necessarily like that because you're not always gonna win the Weather War, right? And that's where Thundurus comes in. Thundurus gives me that option, or the option that, hey, I've realized I'm not winning the Weather War in this match. Let's settle this game down. Go Grimmsnarl, Thundurus, Zacian, and then either Groudon or Incineroar, depending on what I have trouble with dealing with. Probably the Groudon because you want your second restricted and the Sun so Kyogre doesn't run over you. But Incin is a valid option if you feel like, hey, I can get rid of this Kyogre quick enough. Then Grimmsnarl, guys, this is kind of a get out of jail free card with the Thunder Wave here. Obviously, screens are just disgusting. Screens are disgusting on most teams in this format, just because like they break calcs, right? Like everybody calcs to kill Zacian, nobody calcs to kill Zacian through screens, and not more often than not, you can't even calc for that. You know, you can't kill a Zacian through screens. It's just disgusting. And Groudon is much of the same here. Nice general bulk. You set up some screens, it's probably not dying anytime soon, outside of maybe like a water spout in the rain, you know? And if you're in that spot and you have Groudon and a water spout in the rain, I'm sorry, you've already lost whether or not light screen's up or not, right? That's just, you got to position that better. Obviously, reflect light screen as I was talking about. I like Spirit Break. You can make a case for foul play. I'll mention it just because like I still think foul play is a viable option. I like Spirit Break personally. It's a personal thing. And obviously Thunder Wave, as I said, get out of jail free. Nice form of speed control. Also, like I said, get out of jail. You know, if you're ever in a bad spot, click Thunder Wave and pray, right? Like sometimes, right? It's a game of maximizing odds, and if the option is there, you might as well have it. I'm not saying walk in and spam Thunder Wave, but you know, sometimes. And then Incin, I felt, just closed the team out very nice. Shokuberry Incin is super, super clutch right now. I just feel with like the weird thing, because it's the weird maxers that beat this team, you know? Like what beats this team, Max Kyurem with speed control, you know? Max Palkia beats this team as well, right? Or gives it trouble at least, right? And having the Quake, having the ability to switch in Incineroar, take a Quake, and then either get Fake Out, Parting Shot off, right? Or already have Incin and get a Parting Shot off, right? It just forces your opponent's hands a little more and makes them deal with this Incin for that extra turn, which I just think is super, super reliable in this metagame right now. Another concept here, you could go Taunt over here, but if you get rid of this dark move, I strongly suggest foul play on Grimmsnarl or Thundurus, but that's besides the point. I already have Lash Out on the Thundy, helps with the Calyrex Shadow matchup, but generally speaking, you could switch this to Taunt if you really wanted to. I like Darkest Lariat, once again, personal thing, you can switch that up. EV spread is nothing crazy, I'm pretty sure this is just the same general EV spread that Addy used in his original Palkia team to cut the original VR tournament way back when the format started. But that's basically the team, guys. I say we jump into things right now. And let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. I'd like to showcase a lot of the Zacian Kyogre matchups. I haven't played a lot of it. Obviously, I haven't played a lot with this team. This is actually, fun fact, this is like the second or third time I've been recording this episode. I think it's the third. And I know, you know, it happens, but we're actually going to get Yveltal Solgaleo, which is kind of interesting. And kind of, honestly, probably one of the matchups that's actually kind of rough for this team. I'm going to be completely honest here. Obviously, I think I have answers to it, but let's see. I like screens here a lot. One, I can paralyze the Solgaleo if I wanted to. Like I said, get out of jail free card. Sometimes you just need it. Venusaur does not do much here at all, right? Like, Venu doesn't give me anything outside of Sleep Powder, and Sleep Powder is not really enough here because they can max Lightning. They've got Fake Out on the Incin. Yveltal just destroys me. So I'm actually going to lead Grim Zacian with Groudon Thundurus in the back. I could lead Grim Groudon. That's the GG lead, as I like to call it. No, but I think I go with this. I like late game Thundy here because late game max Thundy can win me this. So that's what we're going to go with. There's the Soul, there's the Incin. I'm okay with this. Grim Groudon would have actually been better, but It is what it is. I'm going to pivot out of Zacian. Actually, do I? I'm going to go hard into Thunders for the Grimmsnarl. And I'm just going to get a Sacred Sword in the instant, start getting some chip. Because I think this should be Fake Out and get rid of Grimm. Fake Out, get rid of Grimm, or try to get rid of Grimm. Sacred Sword goes into that instant for big damage. Should be a Steel Spike coming out right here. Beautiful. I have zero complaints right now. As long as that's not Life Orb, even better. So, what this means for me is I'm actually going to pivot Thundy back out into Grimm right now and take out this Incineroar with a Sacred Sword. They can pivot around all they want. I'm not really too concerned. But at this point, like I said, late game, looking like maxing Groudon now since Thundy had to take all that damage on turn 1. And they do switch over to Knuckle, so now I can just get a Reflect up. And we've successfully stalled their Dynamax without them doing anything. Right? I'm going to click Reflect, and I'm going to Protect just because I don't want to see... actually, I just Play Rough, right? But is that a bait? Becomes the question. Because I would love to keep Zacian as a Play Rough onto the Yveltal, and I don't want to necessarily throw it away. I am going to Play Rough, though. I think they gave it to me. I love this move. This move is so good, guys. This move is so good. Nothing I can do there, just other than that's just unfortunate. Groudon has to come in right now. I'd love to get a Swords Dance up, but unfortunately with Tailwind, when the Yveltal still being on the field, I cannot afford to do so. So I have to max Groudon immediately and start Rock Falling and killing off this Yveltal. But I also need to start killing Solgaleo as well, which becomes the problem. Had I killed Yveltal, I think I win, but that's the nature of Play Rough, unfortunately. We're gonna Rock Fall. We're gonna Protect for the turn. Yep, there's a foul play, and that's why I don't SD there, because another foul play would take me out. Don't really want to go through too much right now. Like, I don't want to SD, don't want to hit the soul, because it potentially procs a weakness policy that we haven't seen yet. Yveltal doesn't appreciate that Rock Fall as well. I sack the Thunderous here, because there's a chance that it doesn't die. And 2, there's a chance if it does die, well, then I'm resetting my Zacian for the end game, which is really, really nice. There's a foul play, that's fine. Groudon takes that. Eats that Citrus Berry, probably just another Earthquake. Beautiful. Thundy actually gets on the field for free here, which is okay. Now it's a matter of, can I kill Solgaleo? So this is where I go max Quake into Sol. It's actually a Lecky in the back. So this gives me 2 options. Because I can kill a Lecky here, but I don't think that's the threat. I think the threat is this Solgaleo, so let's get it down as low as possible. Foul play would be better than Lash Out here, but since I'm already proccing its policy with Groudon anyways, I'm going to Lash Out if they give it to me, because it is still stronger than any of my other moves. Okay, a Lucky Take goes down, that's fine. Sunsteel Strike, Groudon takes it. Big Max Quake into Solgaleo for not quite as much damage as I would have liked, and no weakness policy onto Sol. Okay. Groudon is in range of dying to a Sunsteel Strike though, because they'll double the damage output here, which is very concerning. So, no Light Screen is unfortunate here. How do I want to play this? The question is, are they going to Earthquake? I don't think they can afford to. I truly do not believe they can afford an Earthquake here. And because of that, I think I'm capable of protecting over here and actually Sacred Swording and killing the Lecky. This is actually tough. I think I go P-Blades. I'm gonna double attack actually. The game is not over, so does this mean I lost? Oh, I'm faster. Was I? Oh, I didn't realize I was faster. I guess I was faster. They were faster because of Tailwind. So that just wins me the game now, right? Because, yeah. I also missed a Precipice Blades, which I didn't even notice until now, but that's pretty funny. Anyways, we're gonna take that W. So we missed a Play Rough and a Precipice Blades, and we still managed to win that game. So. And I think that's the issue with Solgaleo not being weakness policy. And even when it is weakness policy, right? Solgaleo is one of those mons that if it gets going, it's going to get going and it's going to steamroll you. It's as simple as that. But when it is a best of 3, or when there's just a well-played ladder game like that, and you can avoid their policy proccing, or in that case when they don't even have it, they were probably AV in that case. But, right, it's one of those things where it's, yeah, that's probably not too big of a deal for me. You know, I can get around it, and it's gonna be their maxer. If they're not maxing it, they're kind of wasting, right? So I don't want to say it's linear, but I think it's a little bit easier than a lot of the other restricteds to play around, at least at this point in the meta. Speaking of restricted, here's a Ho-Oh. This is probably one of the concerning matchups for me, mainly because Sableye here. Mainly because Sableye here. Grim Groudon looks fantastic. I worry a lot about getting Will-O-Wisp though, which is concerning. And I think I don't really have much of an out to that. So I'm going to have to lead this. They probably bring Lando into back. I want to go Zacian as well, obviously, here. And I think Thundurus is still probably really good. But I'm going to get shredded by this Sableye. And there's nothing I can do by that. Nothing I can do. Yep, there it is. Right on cue, the Sableye. And they realize right now that... See, because right now I can actually make this one... I can play this one of two ways. I can say they're going to go for a Steel Spike into Grimmsnarl, which they probably will. And I don't normally like bringing Grimmsnarl into Dialga matchups. Do I just click Quake? Is it that time? Do I just say, you know what, I'm going to get burned here. Let's just click Quake. Let's just Thunder Wave and click Max Quake and not die. You know what? That's probably, yeah, perfect. I'm okay with that. That is actually a phenomenal turn. We're going to get burned, like I said. But, yep, there's the burn. Lumberry Groudon would be cool for that exact instance right now, but now we've got Ho-Oh. That's actually eject button Sableye, which kind of wild. Now I get Reflects up though. So I'm going to throw a Reflect up here, and I definitely want to start getting Rock Falls out onto this Ho-Oh. Okay, that's fine. I don't really care about that. Lando's going to max, that's fine. The Reflect's going up, big Rock Fall into Sableye. Obviously not going to do all that much, but the burn here hurts. The burn here is the thing that hurts. I do have to get rid of this Sableye sooner rather than later. So once again, I'm going to double into it. I'm going to go Spirit Break, and I want to click Quake again. I think it's relatively safe. Yeah, that's fine. Fake Out Sableye is a little annoying. Airstream goes into Grimm. Grimm is alive, so we've killed 2 turns just by Grimm sitting on the field, which is nice. Sableye, unfortunately, is also alive. How do I do this? I needed Sableye to be chipped into range of death there. I'm going to bait them with Zacian and hard switch into Thundurus. Yes, Thundurus is going to get burned, but there's not much more I can do. I'm going to SD to try and get as much damage output as I can from this Groudon on future turns. And they are going to Quake, so that's perfect. Okay. This gives us a chance now. Because the Landorus comes out of max. Yeah, we're burned, but at least we're +1, you know? We actually threaten some damage here. The problem right now is going to be this Lando. But I want to get rid of the Ho-Oh sooner rather than later, right? Yeah, no, I still want to get rid of the Ho-Oh. They Rock Slide me, so hopefully nothing crazy happens here. Of course. Of course. Okay, that's at least some sort of justice, you know? That is at least a little bit of justice. But, like, come on, man. Come on. I think I have to SD with Groudon again, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Rock Slide comes out. Thundurus is going to be alive. I'm going to kill the Sableye. No, I'm not going to kill the Sableye. You got to be kidding me. What is this game? They're going to Rock Slide again or maybe Quash. I'm going to hard switch in Zacian and just Rock Slide now because Sableye needs to get off the field. They shouldn't be burning a 10 HP Mon because it's going to die anyways. Yeah. Rock Slide's coming out. That's okay. Groudon's still on the field. Does this give me my berry? It does give me my berry. So I go back into Thundurus and SD. I have to get an SD up. I think I win this game if I'm not flinched. If, like, I'm not getting flinched, you know? Rock Slide comes out. Groudon, please. Okay. Groudon gets the attacks up, gets its HP back up, and let's get into this game now. I protect here, and I go Rock Slide. I have to kill Sableye this turn, so Zacian is not getting burned. I do lose Reflect, but we see Landorus is not actually faster. Correct Earthquake, good, right beside Telepathy Dialga. That's fine. Groudon tanks it. Groudon clicks rocks. Okay. So the only question remaining here is Groudon faster than Dialga? Because I'm killing it. Behemoth Blade U and P-Blades. Groudon update was clearly not faster. Groudon was clearly not faster. I mean, at this point, the game was over anyways because I'm not unable to actually kill this Ho-Oh in the back since Groudon was going to die to burn. But I lost that on the double flinch. The double flinch. Like, how often does that actually happen, guys? Like, literally, if either of those two Pokemon are moving, I'm okay with that on either of the turns. But it's fine. That's the game we've signed up to play. So, you know, we take it and move on. But still kind of hurts, you know? Stings a little. It stings a little. I don't think that's a terrible matchup. It's a little rough because, like I said, I'm forced to bring Grimmsnarl into a match where I don't really want to bring it in that mode. But this is kind of, once again, I tried to, like I said, this is like my third time recording this, and the first time I recorded it, I pulled another, like a really odd Zacian Kyogre team as well. Speaking of odd Zacian Kyogre teams, here we are. But like, it just seems weird to me that I've recorded this 3 times, and all 3 times I've played Zacian Ogre, which is what I want, but not like the standard Zacian Ogre, you know? Anyways, this is still kind of weird. I really want to go like Thunderous Grim in this one. Although Venusaur is still nice. The problem with the Venusaur though is they just click follow me beside it and I gain no traction. Whereas this way I'm actually pretty comfortable to actually go for something like this. I could make a case for Incin, but I think Groudon is better. And like I said, there's the follow me Zacian. So this is now something that actually gives me merit here. I would love to not have to switch out Grimmsnarl here, but I have to set up a Reflect and I'm going to click Airstream. If they don't target Thundy, because Thundy's the threat. There's a helping hand. Yeah, you're going after Thundy. Yep. You're going after Thundy. It's not going to kill him, which is beautiful. I get the Airstream up into Indeedee, which is okay. Another one of those will kill. And I go Airstream into Indeedee again and actually get my Zacian on the field. Keep my Grimmsnarl alive because I can always Thunder Wave into late game if I get rid of this Indeedee. If I get rid of the terrain fast enough. Helping hand again, that is okay. They have to go for that, but Thundurus comes in, takes that down. You have to kill the Thundy here, but this is exactly why I wanted to boost the speed on my Zacian. Now we're actually in an okay spot. I could have done the exact same thing with Groudon, perhaps. Might have been a little bit better off, but I didn't want to lose the Weather War. I'm going to go Grim right now, coming on back in, which is a little unfortunate, but I want Light Screen. Do I want Light Screen, or do I just hard switch in Sun? Because that's something I could do as well. I'm gonna hard switch in Sun. I think they want to max this Kyogre because they can't. They're gonna try and let me kill the Zacian and then have. Yeah, they're gonna go for that. They're gonna max the Kyogre, so Behemoth Blade into that's my best play. And the question basically becomes: can Zacian live a Geyser and a Behemoth Blade with Reflect into Sun? That's what this comes down to. There's a max, which is not surprising. Behemoth Blade going into the Kyogre, which is a 2-shot, which is really, really nice. There's the Blade. Here's the Geyser, and Zacian is going to hang on with 6. So that's actually really, really clutch. So the question now is that a damage roll on Kyogre? And I think the only option for me is to actually play that damage roll. I don't have another option. I have to try and play this damage roll. And I have to just click P-Blades. I don't have a better play. They can try and protect Kyogre, which is their correct play, but I don't have a better play on my end. They're going to actually hard switch into regular Landorus. The Kyogre is going to go down. And just like that, we're kind of back in this game. Now, the question is, did they take the old school Landorus from back in the day, back when Series 10 was around, that's actually going to tank a Behemoth Blade from my Zacian right now? Right, that's where this game becomes questionable. And I think the answer to that is I'm just going to click... See, I can't do that, though, because they double Groudon, right? Groudon is the threat. I have to just kill Lando and Blades. Yeah, perfect. Okay, perfect. I don't want to play myself there. There's the Behemoth Blade. They actually crit the Behemoth Blade, which is super unfortunate. But there's the Precipice Blade's going to take out Zacian. So, a little bit scary, but I'm a little bit shocked in my opponent's endgame there. Like, you max Kyogre. I guess you're AV Kyogre, but why'd you switch Zacian? Right? Like, you just a double attack, right? I think. Anyways, at least I would, but oh well. Oh well, maybe I'm a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, maybe I'm tunnel visioned there. But that happens, right? I don't have full time to analyze this, but now we got YvelZacian Lapras, which is fairly decent core. I don't love Lapras in this format, but it has merit. And this is where Zacian's gonna go crazy. Thunderous Zacian really just puts on a lot of work. The problem with that is Regieleki. Now, are they going to be Life Orb Regieleki on this team? That's really tough to say. I want to say yes, which means I kind of want to lead screens. But if I'm leading screens, I'm losing out on capitalization here. I don't think they lead Aleki. They're not maxing Aleki with a Groudon in the back, right? So I think I'm safe to do this. Venusaur, once again, hasn't really been brought here, but like, it's these off-meta teams right now that are really not allowing the Venusaur to come into matchups where Venusaur would otherwise want to come, right? But obviously doesn't want to come versus Yveltal anyways, so... I think I want to just play it slow. I think Incin in the back is really, really nice. You could make a case for safety goggles as well. But I think right now the team's kind of functioning pretty well. We get this, which is really, really nice. And basically here, the Amoonguss has to be scared because I have a free kill into that slot. Airstream Behemoth will kill anything that comes into that slot. And that's exactly what I do. They can protect, and they know that, right? And I think protect is their best play, but I can't risk it. And that's the good thing about Amoonguss, and that's what I like about Amoonguss in this format, is I cannot risk ignoring it and getting put to sleep. They do just thankfully Rage Powder. Behemoth Blade is going to connect into the Amoonguss. Airstream is going to go into the Amoonguss as well and take it down. Okay, I'm okay with that. Just a foul play into my Thunder. It's going to get the crit, which is meaning it's not going to do over half the other way around. We're going to get Thunderous at +1 attack here. This is generally where I'd like to double the Yveltal. Because, like, even if it maxes, I've got this speed boost anyways, so I just double it. If they want to protect or switch out, or max and try to live and fake out Zacian, that's fine. They're going to fake out a Thunderous and a Sucker Punch. So, I respect it. That was definitely probably one of their best options there, because they didn't really have much else going for them at that point. And now you're going to see Zacian come in from my opponent's end. And I want to just double, yeah. At that point, you double the instant because it can't protect. Groudon instant in the back end up winning that for me every day of the week. There's no way I lose that. So team's working out really, really well. Probably go one more, and if it's a quick one, we'll play another one for you guys. But right now, this team is pretty flames, I'm going to be honest. It's kind of working. I'm enjoying it. Like, it's pivoted well. I lost, obviously, that one game to the double flinch, which in a interesting matchup, right? But I haven't played the team that much. So I think, as of right now, as a first initial test, really, really good. But, like, it's tough to tell, right? Like, I don't know. Generally speaking, I like to give it, like, 20 to 30 games before I even start making an adjustment at all. If there is an adjustment to make, right? Like, it's tough to say just off, like, the sample size, right? So, but I think for right now, it's working out. Like, it's flowing, which is important. I'm going to lead Thunderous again. I think I can do the exact same thing, right? I think that's pretty safe. Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. So, unfortunately, no Venusaur game unless this game goes relatively quick. I might try to force another game in just to see if we can get Venu in, but didn't really play any opposing Groudon. Didn't play the mirror match at all. Didn't play any really standard Kyogre Zacian teams, right, to allow me to go for that. But it's all good. It's all good. I love when opposing players set the timer and then I'm the one waiting for them. Obviously, they're probably just practicing with timer, and I respect that. But I just find it funny. Figured I'd make the comment. But like, I don't know. The core of Grimmsnarl, Zacian, Groudon is just really, really good. Same with an instant being on there is nice as well. So, see, once again, I don't understand this play. Why are you leading Alecki here? And to me, they're leading Alecki here because they're going to go for Electro Web, foul play into my Thunderous, and try to take me down. To me, that's the only logical explanation as to why they're leading this into a Groudon team. So I'm going to cover for that option and just kill the Yveltal. Electro Web, foul play. Yep, like I said, that is the only logical option or only logical reason they would ever lead that into a Groudon team. There's the Landorus on their end, which I'm okay with. They have to pick one of them to max, and I'm going to go ahead and assume it's going to be this Landorus at this point. And I feel like Landorus also is probably going to go for an Airstream into the Incineroar. I'm going to attempt a parting shot because on the off chance I get it off, that's great. And I'm just going to keep Zacian alive while we scout for a turn. I know I potentially lose a piece here, but they Quake a Sugar Berry instant. Not quite enough. I didn't think so from that range, but you never know. Now I go Groudon. And I just start stacking up. I go Max Quake. Yeah, because they don't have a switch in for the Alecki. I go Max Quake and I pivot in. Yeah, I was going to say, do I need Zacian? But yes, the answer is yes, you need Zacian. The answer is yes, every time. This is a scary endgame if I lose Thunderous here. But I shouldn't. They're actually going to... Oh, no. That's a very scary endgame, actually. Because Screech Alecki is actually going to hurt me here. Anyways, Max Quake, no Sash, though, which is really, really good. No Sash is super important there. So now I max Guard just to hinder off for a turn. But how do I want to play this? So there's two ways I can go about doing this. I can Wild Charge the Zacian to put the Zacian in range which I don't think is the right play. But I think it has to be the play I go for. Unless I go into Zacian, which is actually an interesting option, which I think is my best option. They should double Groudon here. Okay, Airstream the Zacian, which is really bad. Now I lose. Because they safely Behemoth Blade that every time, right? Yeah. So, I need to somehow preserve my Groudon here. And keep my Zacian alive. And I don't think I can... I think I'm pinned at this point. I don't think there's any world in which I actually get out of that. And that's just Screechaleki catching me off guard. Right? Because, like, even if I do this, which is my only play at this point... This becomes my only play. If they hit Zacian here, this is actually favorable. Okay, they didn't. But why? Okay, that's fine, I guess. Okay, so if I can actually find a way to kill Landorus, we might be alright. But I'm never going to find a way to kill Landorus unless they don't Earthquake for whatever reason because they're beside Zacian. So if they're beside Zacian and they want to Earthquake here, I protect my Zacian, right? So they on their Protect. And I think that's the correct play. So I go fly into Landorus and I protect. To scout for their Zacian Protect. And their Earthquake. And if I can catch that, it gives me a chance. I would have needed a double though. They actually Rock Slide. Why didn't I just attack? Why didn't I just attack? Okay, I would have lost anyways because they were faster. But Groudon waltzing on in at this point. But I think I'm too far chipped to actually live this, but let's find out. We're gonna go fly in P-Blades, but I think this game's over. There's the rocks. That's gonna be nice because it's gonna chip me perfectly into Citrus Berry range to live, and I should tank that and hopefully get this Precipice Blades to connect. That was a great turn, guys. That was a fantastic turn right there. That just sums up using Groudon. That's the summary of using Groudon right there, and it wasn't even because we got flinched. I'm gonna try one more though. It's going to be a little bit of a longer episode with the Venusaur, but just because I want to try and get this Venusaur into a game. Still not going to happen. I can't bring Venu to this. I don't even know what I do bring to this. I think I have to slow it down, so I'm actually going to go Grim Zacian? Grim Groudon Instant Zacian, I think, because if they go Intimidate, I can Swords Dance it back up. I could always Rock Slide Flinch the Trick Room Setter as well, which obviously is again kind of one of those get out of jail cards, but not what you want to do here. But unfortunately, that's the matchup right now because I don't know if I've ever seen Dialga Calyrex Ice. Kind of one of those cores that just doesn't exist, you know. It exists, like I've seen like small usage of it, but like never too much. So I'd imagine you're gonna see Fake Out Trick Room here. I'm gonna go for my get out of jail free cards. They actually just maxed. I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me all that much. So we probably just lose Groudon straight up. Nope, okay. I respect the play, but I'm still kind of a bit confused. I mean, Groudon's in a very bad spot there, and now we go Instant. The question is, how do I want to play this? Are they going to be max Wormwinding my Instant here, or are they going to Quake? That's literally the one question. I don't think they have a reason to Quake. I think Wormwind probably is the best play. And I think because of that turn 1, I have to gamble on something. So we're going to go Zacian, and I'm going to try an SD here. And try to catch a Wormwind going into my Instant. Got it wrong. Okay. I don't know why you Quake there. I just feel like you can Wormwind anything. But I guess Quake is safe because you know my Backmon Zacian, right? So that was unnecessary of a risk. There was no real reason for me to take that there. Groudon's going to get the SD up, which is going to give me maybe an outside shot. Let's do it this way. Let's max Flare you and just protect here. See if I can pivot out of this. So no switch out. So Groudon could have maxed right there. That's okay. Quake goes into Instant. Does over 50% because Callie's on the field. I don't get to use my Shuka Berry there. And max Flare into Sun. Okay, Incineroar is terrible. That's kind of just sad. So my win con right now is still somehow getting SD up. So I go Flare into you and I SD. You body press me, I'm gonna live. Earth Power needs to not kill me. Or you need to go for something into Groudon right here. Okay, Groudon's actually slower. Earth Power, Shuka Berry? No. A little unfortunate, but like this is what I get for trying to stretch the episode out. I protect this turn. Rillaboom comes in. I'm not winning this game. Yeah, no, this is over. All right, that's gonna be it, guys. I think the team is good. I think there are some weaknesses that we can work on patching, but I think for what the purpose of the video is, like just getting teams out there and trying to feature some different stuff, you know, stuff that could potentially be good that I feel is a bit underexplored. I think this team is pretty fun. I would have liked to see Venusaur come into some games because I think it would have. Maybe I should have forced it. Maybe I should be doing it. Maybe I should be forcing it into games, right? It might be good enough there, but it's just tough in best of one, right? Because like in best of one where the matchup's not there, it's just like, okay, why am I bringing Venu, right? Whereas sometimes like in best of 3, it's like, okay, I took game 1, I can go Venu now and maybe just give myself a win here, right? Just because they won't be prepared for it, right? Which is generally sometimes what works, but it's just tough to do in best of 1. But I think the team is really nice. Obviously, there's probably some errors with it, like obviously some obvious oversights as well. I don't think you ever just build a team and go, yep, there's no issues with this and keep rocking it, right? Like those instances are very rare. It happens, but it's rare. But that's going to be it today, guys. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to get on out of here, and I will catch you guys in a future video.